Okay. I'm about to have a good day. I'm about to have a good day.
All right. You're here at the set of the Alter Self Mindset Set, where we're here today. We're studying the law of success. This is the last law in our series. We're studying along with Raymond Hollywell in his book, Working with the Law. And I want to introduce a verse to you from the Bible to kick us all off. We're looking at John 10:10. John 10:10. It says, "The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly." More abundant life. Success requires that. It requires just the fact that you would think from the abundant side, that you would think that there's always more. You think, I always can. You think, I'm always looking to be a fuller, more wonderful expression into this world. And the first of the rule of the law of success is he who thinks he can, can. If a person takes a positive mental attitude and he thinks that everything's working for him, then obviously he can. He can. The law works only for the one who thinks he can. It's working always for the one who thinks that God is his supply, the one who thinks that there's nothing that can stop him because he is working with a higher power, right? Every man is made for success through a process called succeeding. Succeeding. And succeeding is, it's the word seed is inside of it. You're planting seeds in succession. Okay, you're doing a successful thoughts all the time. You're looking for a way to bring a crop into this world that's coming from successful thinking. All right, anything that we're bringing into this world comes by this process. Okay, because we're either having thoughts of fear and procrastination, or we're thinking through thoughts of abundance and understanding. All right, so one side of the fence to the other, you're always bringing in a crop. Don't forget that. You're bringing in one of another crop, and you don't have to plant the weeds. If you ignore the process of succession and going forward in life, just remember you're sowing the seeds that are doubt, frustration, dis-ease, a sick life. Okay, so if you're looking to bring the crop in that's got all the wonderful things you want, they have to come with success. You have to put a mark on it of success. Every man has a complete set of mental faculties. Okay, I want you to understand that. You got what you have as any animal does, which is hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. Okay, those are the things we're looking to identify with the things that are in this world. But to be any different, to think successfully, you have to use your mental faculties. These are the spiritual faculties, the ones that are in high production with the hand of God. Okay, this would be your reason, your memory, your um, imagination, your perception, your intuition. Those are the ones that you have to use to do this successful thought. Okay, so you'd want to use those to create this into the mind. Okay, you're working with them to get things to come out of the mind into this world. So to use those, you have to think a little bit higher. You have to think what could be the advancement of things. You have to look for the fact of progress in every situation. How is this working for me instead of against me? And if you ignore it, like I say, it's bringing in a crop just as good. It's coming to whether you like it or not. It's like water going downhill. I was explaining to someone just a while ago, water doesn't have a way to stop coming downhill. It's working with the law. And that's what we're studying, these laws. Okay? So remember, if you got a garden, if anyone's ever had a garden, you got to realize that if you don't sow something in the spot that you've tore up, the seeds are going to come in from the weeds. You're getting a crop one way or the other. You got to either do one on purpose with meaning and intent, or you're going to get one that you don't want. So you might as well do it and work with the progress of it through succession. All right, how does this work? Through self-help, through self-discovery, and through self-knowledge, learning about yourself. learning about asking questions about self-discovery, learning how these functions work that you are, this higher power working through you. It's looking to join forces with you. It's looking for you to develop out of the mind, this frame of mind, to become both halves of the pair working together. Okay. So you got to realize one half's already created. One half of the mind is already there. It's got everything. The Bible says, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, nor entered into the heart of man the things that God had prepared for them that diligently seek him. So if you're doing this, if you're looking through self-help, self-discovery, self-knowledge, you're using this other half of the pair. You're becoming the other half of the pair. Okay. The law works with faith and understanding. It never has some ability to try and work with the fear and procrastination and limitation and doubt and worry. Those are all on one side of the fence. Those are on the side of dis-ease. To work with ease, you have to work with the flow of things. So the Bible also makes a statement that says, all things work together for the good to them that love God. The Bible never makes terminology about something being bad, because all things work together for the good. They're just in a flow state. They're in a thing that's constantly pouring. Okay, you got to realize that and build your ideology around things that are, being full of success. Okay, so when you think, that's your major feature that makes you a spiritual item. You get the power of choice and decision. Okay, just like a flower has to have a certain fragrance, or an animal has to have a certain look, like a giraffe. You never see a solid black giraffe. No. You never see an oak tree that puts off pine cones. That doesn't happen. So when it comes to dealing with who you are, realize you're this expression. You're bringing things from one half of the mind by choice and decision to be a whole on this side of the mind, to bring them into existence. The law works with advancement. Okay, it works with success. It's always for fuller expression. Okay, and for furtherance. It's never for stopping and for procrastination, stopping the progress. It's never for that. You can stand still and go backwards into fear and misunderstanding and doubt. Okay, you can do it. You can spend the whole life doing it, right? You can spend up your whole life, but the way to make progress is you have to learn to work with it. The idea that behind the book that I'm looking at, it's working with the law. Okay, you have to work right alongside of it. And you can, with the ability to work out of fear, stop. Okay, I see a lot of people, they say, well, you know what, I'm just stuck in life, or I don't know how to fit in, or I don't know, things are always working against me. It's only because you hadn't used your perception to see things properly that you're stopping the thing. You're the one making the choice. You're the one that chooses to bring light into the situation or to live in darkness. And if we had our rathers, believe me, men are they're of darkness rather than light. So we have to choose to have life. We have to choose to release light. Okay? The Bible speaks a lot about that too, about us releasing light, and we're the children of light. Okay? So, what you can envision, the law has the power to actualize. Okay? So if inspiration gives you a vision of something to have, and the greatest example I know is the light bulb. Okay? And there's many other ones. Okay? The airplane, right? Automobile. Any of these things we've had a vision about. Believe me, the law gives you the power to actualize. It has no limitations either. Just realize. All it knows is advancement. It wants to go to the next level, and to the next level, and to the next level. And for the man who thinks he can, he'll get to the next level. It has no limitation. It's not slack concerning any of the promises that it made. Okay? The law has the power to go and take you to any place you'd like to go. All right? Success, personal advancement, and increase are the favorable termination of anything attempted. Okay, so as a definition, a lot of people would say, well, what is success? Well, you could, in any category, you could try and give it a definition. You could give it a framework for what it would be. right? But for the sake of trying to understand what we're talking about, we'll call the definition personal advancement and increase, or the favorable termination of anything attempted. Okay. So, you working on this constantly is what is success. Making little decisions, making little choices enough to get you to the next level. Thinking and keeping a probable or a positive frame of mind to give it a probable outcome. That is what is progression and success. Success brings oneself and his actions to a standard higher than ordinary human standard. Okay, for Edison to bring the light bulb into this world, he had to think higher. He had to know that if God said, "Let there be light," that there must be more light, that it must come from abundance, and that he'd have to work out of his dissatisfaction to become creative enough to bring a new item into this world. And of course, he did. We have the light bulb. We have all kinds of light bulbs. Even another person probably, he said, "Let there be even more light." And we got an LED light bulb, fancy one. But the entrance of light is what got it all started. So these men were just building off of an original substance to make more of it. And dissatisfaction each time is the place of creativity. Okay. I'm sure the person that invented I think it was Carl Benz that invented the motor coach. He was dissatisfied walking behind stinky horses, and just decided to take it to the level of horsepower. But realize the name is still the same to the day. When we talk about an engine's output, it's still called horsepower. Okay, that's why an airplane still looks like a bird, because it came from inspiration. The Wright brothers invented the airplane. The first one was to fly it anyway, and they were doing it out of inspiration that came from a creature, the bird. That's why it still looks like it's a bird to the day. These things have come from a creative state. Okay, now we span the globes on all their progress. Fear acts as a brake to retard progress. Okay, if a person's acting out of fear and procrastination, it puts the brakes on things. It's much like a horse, a man driving a horse in a race, and it gets ready to make the jump, and the guy thinks, "Oh, the horse don't know. It don't know it can't make it." Right? The horse is a matter of what God's put its intelligence to the fact of, I'm going forward. So if a guy's on and he's riding it, whipping the horse, and they're going to jump, the guy pulls back on the reins, you realize that retarded the whole progression of what it was. The guy's likely to get thrown off, break his neck. He's risking his life there by stopping the natural flow of progression. The horse believes what the rider believes. So he has to do what it says. And that's the same way your body is. Your body can do anything you want it to do, barring its limitations, of course. But the truth is, it can do anything that you think it can do, and more, and more. So when you operate out of fear, you're retarding the natural progress of things. You should operate in understanding. If you do it through understanding progressively, there's no way to fail. The law works in your favor every single time. Fear is largely the cause of failure. The only cure for this is understanding. So if a man takes his time, each individual time, and he tries to understand what he's progressing through, what he's doing is he's operating the causality of more and through of abundance. Okay. If you use your higher mental faculties to overcome obstacles, you're definitely operating in the spirit. Inspiration's what's doing this. So if it's driving it, remember, it has nothing but forwardness for progression. Okay. It'll do anything you can attempt to do. The only safeguard is to know that God is your supply. God is your supply. And I'm going to tell you, we got all of nature to know that this is the truth. Okay. It's our greatest example to realize how much abundance that God has in mind. And he supplies all the needs of everything. Just realize he's supplying the needs of all the animals. He's supplying the needs of all the oceans. He's supplying the needs of all of humanity, all in one fell swoop. And he does it by working with law. And he's the only supply. You say, well, I don't have enough money to do this, or I don't have enough health to do this. Well, realize God has it. He has it in potential. Your job is to release the potential. So if you're releasing potential, I don't care if it's small moves every single day done in the right way or what is success. You can't go wrong if you're doing it this way. The only way to stop this is through fear and procrastination. Don't stop or procrastinate the flow of progress of inspiration. Remember, it has the power to actualize anything that it puts into your mind or in your vision. It has the power to bring it in. The desire to advance implies the power to advance, right? So, you've got this in you to do, right? You've got the power. It's sitting there waiting dormant for you to become the other half of it, whatever the idea is. And if you won't act on it, believe me, your body will end up in dis-ease. Either you perform the actions or you harbor a thing of dis-ease on the inside of the body. You have to allow things to flow through you. If a tree grows a new tree ring every single year and a snake sheds its skin, or if a flower blossoms and then falls away, or any fruit comes on any plant, it's a matter of this progression. So you have to do this as a person. You have to choose and decide what is on inspiration, act on it. And if you don't act on it and you operate out of fear or you just ignore it, believe me, that's going to end up inside of this body. Okay, your body's made to flow things through, just like a pond has to have fresh water flowing through it all the time. Success is a result of inspiration rightly applied. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to realize order is heaven's first law. If I go to a restaurant and I just sit down in the restaurant and I just look at the waitress and I don't ever look at the menu or I don't ever give her an order, how is she supposed to know what to bring out of the kitchen? How is she supposed to know what I'm supposed to want on my plate? She just bring me everything? No. She doesn't bring me anything I don't ask for. And that's why the Bible says, ask, seek, and knock. Okay, you're looking for the places where you can work in this thing. You got to ask the questions. You have to put in the order for what you want. And when you knock, is when you write it down. Like you writing it down is the same as standing at the door and knocking on the door. Okay, because that's when it's going to be open. You have to do as much as you can. If you don't have the money, make the business plan to try and have the business that you want to have, no matter what it is. Go as far as you can go, and then you're depending on God to supply the rest of what it takes to have it. I wanted a house for many years, and I didn't do anything. I just sat dormant. And when I took a chainsaw and I went into the woods and I sawed down the place for the house, and I went to see a person about the house plans, guess what? I got the house. So you got to act on what it is you want. You can't sit dormant and procrastinate. You have to go forward. A common quality of successful people is a constructive state of mind or a successful attitude. Okay? So what you have to do is you have to hold on to a construct. You have to continually think that something's working for you to be able to build into the mind of God out of the idea. Okay? You're constantly working on and revamping the plan. Okay? Or maybe calculating things, looking for the next move, always constantly progressing. So always be in that mind, in that attitude. Okay, attitude is everything. Keeping a positive attitude. Don't let things get you down. Realize God is your supply. He's got it in mind for you with inspiration to have what you want. You can have it. The I can attitude always goes on to success. Just realize that it's never a minus situation if you say I can. The only time it's ever a minus is when you would say I can't, or I'm not enough, or I don't qualify, or you let things get you down, get into other people's energy. Okay. Always the way to do that, to be able to do what is possible is to get full. Okay. You can't allow something in if you're full. You're going to guard yourself from taking on the energies of everything else by becoming full first. Get up in the morning, become grateful, become joyful, become thankful, become mindful. Okay. And then when you see other people, you're allowing what you're full of to flow over onto them. You don't attract or interact with them and take on their energy. You let yours flow over onto them. So it's the positive mental attitude that wins the day. It'll attract things to you. So realize what is possible to one mind is possible to another. So if there's ever been a light bulb moment when you're trying to come up with the light bulb, or you're trying to take the things to the next level, realize that inspiration was coming for the need to have it. This world's waiting to see what you'll come up with. There's only one you. There's only one you. You're unique. And if you act out of authenticity, believe me, that inspiration is ready to bring things into this world. I can is the key to successful attitude. If you just keep saying, I can, I can, I can, right? Don't fall for everything. Don't say, I will do everything. You say, I can do everything. The Bible says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay? Obstacles seen from a higher point are but for a stepping stone to success. Realize when you're backed way up off a situation and you're not taking everything so personal and you're not getting offended, what you're doing is you're using it to perceive it to be something that's working for you. So now problems become a place that you have to have. You have to have a place of being empty to realize, here I'm going to get full of something. Okay, so your things that seem to be a stumbling block before are now opportunities. Now they're a stepping stone. All right. So if you're backed up far enough off of it, you can see that. If you got a higher purpose in mind, if you realize you're working with God in things, God's got a huge big plan going. Right? God's not trying to graduate 1 acre into be an oak tree. God's building a forest. Just realize that he's got everything in mind. He's got in mind he's going to bring the shade to the ground. He's going to plant millions of oak trees and pine trees and feed the birds and the squirrels and predators that live in the forest. The bugs, he's trying to work the microbes. He's trying to work everything. Right? So he's building a huge big thing. Don't get so down close to it. Back up off of it. Take the mind of God. Your worst enemy is procrastination. It lives inside of you. This thing, you can fuel it by just not doing anything. Just realize that if you don't do anything or you don't go forward, what you're doing is you're becoming a crass, which is rude. Okay? Or you're becoming something that's in the way. You're the obstacle. You're the blockage. You're the thing that's blocking the flow of something. If you've ever siphoned anything or if you've used a water hose at all, if it's got a kink in it, you're the kink. You're the thing that's the problematic side because you won't decide. Okay, you got to bring things through. That's how the ease works, or the flow state. I've heard a lot of people say that. And it lives inside of you. It's waiting to be adhered to at any time. Never leave things that you could do today until tomorrow. Always do as much as you can today. Always act on as many things as you can today. Don't waste things. We're dealers in time. Just realize that. We have consciousness. And you're only conscious like 12, 14 hours a day, and then you're going to go to sleep for 8 hours. Okay, you're going to find yourself asleep, and then you don't make any decisions in that amount of time. Okay, so all that time's going to be in something else's hands, just like your body is in all of these. Your heart beating, your lungs are moving. You don't think about those things; they're automatic. So is your sleep. So there's something running you bigger and higher than what you know, keeping you together in faith. Okay, so don't take it for granted. You use this consciousness. You deal in your time, and don't waste it. Okay, do the little things. And they'll take care of the big things. Okay, do the little things, and you think something's little. It doesn't cost you anything to show love, to give peace, to show mercy, to show kindness. Those things are belonging to God, and the measure of them. You don't know how to measure what it is about how you love things or how you're kind to things. But the measure to the universe and to God and all his promises, believe me, they weigh out. So that if you can do the little things, if you can love the unlovable, if you can be kind to the thing that's being ugly to you, if you can and show mercy to the thing that seems to be unmerciful, you can do that. You can perform the things that God wants you to do every single day. And you can gain a measure of it in your life that will promote you to the next level every single time. So do the little things. Don't forget to do the little things. But don't waste your time or the meantime, okay? Always consider that there not be enough time in a day. Use your time wisely. Be constructive with your time. Always doing something that's headed you toward your goal. Always working that function. Our success depends on the use of our time and our thought. This is our major higher feature, is that we can think and we can act and we can feel. Okay. But the main thing being thought. And that's just about what I had to say about the law of success. This is the last of it. And just remember, all this wisdom, everything that's coming at you is coming out of the Bible. All right. And it's all coming whether you like it or not. So you might as well participate. This has been the Law Series with Greg McCullough. Take care.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. I'm about to have a good day.